Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, August 25th, 2018. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, it wasn't a good day yesterday over here in the States with the markets. So over there in Asia, boop, they were down. Over there in Europe, boom, down. Here in the States, Dow was down 200. But then it recovered, went up over 100. Closed around 60, up. NASDAQ, boop, down a little bit, gold down, oil, beep, and Bitcoin, shoo, took a hit. Yep, it was over 10,000, now it's just hovering around 9,000. So a lot of volatility around. So what happened to the Dow? Well, it snapped its 6-day losing streak, and here's what they said. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed higher for the first time in 6 sessions, recovering from sharp losses seen earlier in the day. Stocks fell sharply because interest rates rose to levels not seen in years. The benchmark 10-year Treasury yield traded at 3.03% after breaking above 3% for the first time yesterday since 2014. So what does this mean? Trend alert, trend alert. Crash coming? Is the end near? Here's the trend. So, that's what we have. A trend alert putting you ahead of the news and on top of the trends. So our forecast, again, the Trump rally has peaked. Short term, boop, things may move up a bit. Long term, as long as these rates keep going up, the market keeps going down for a number of reasons, and they're outlined in your trend alert. Among them, it's going to cost more money to borrow. So as interest rates go up, it costs more to borrow. And that's going to slow things down, particularly stock buybacks. Now, the earnings reports. Well, one of the reasons the markets went up, well, Boeing showed some great earnings. Yes, earnings are good, but that's discounted into the market already. And we believe after the big budget, the omnibus budget that Trump passed, that's going to work its way out, and you're not going to see these earnings after the tax breaks and all that is taken in. They're not going to be rising as fast as they were. So again, your trend alert not only has what to expect with the markets, but what the wild cards are and where we see it going. Again, a trend alert with information that you won't find anywhere in one place in the mainstream prostitute media. And what happened? Gold, well, gold prices obviously went down because interest rates are going up. So we know the story on that one as well, that the higher the yields on bonds, it makes gold less attractive as an investment because it pays no interest. And we've given you this over and over again. It's in this range. If interest rates really start to go up sharply, you can see that $100 drop in gold that we say is going to be the bottom. And oil prices, well, not much going on except that U.S. stockpiles rose unexpectedly. And also production in the United States has now overtaken Saudi Arabia. And we're right behind Russia, which is number 1. So, geopolitical tensions have eased a bit over there in the Middle East, but they really haven't. So that's anyway where the markets are, where things are going. Economic jitters unsettle any European move on rates. Again, go back to your trend alert. Trend alert. It's all in there again. They're only putting little pieces together. We're giving you the globalnomics story. So we already have in Europe, negative 0.4 bank rates. And here's what they say now. Also, they concern many countries that if their currencies get stronger, then they export less. Now, in the United States, our production in manufacturing is only, this is according to the World Bank, at 10%. So we're talking about trade here, and U.S. and Japan. The Eurozone exports goods and services worth 44% of its economic output each year, compared with less than 12% for the United States, 16% for Japan, and 20% for China. But again, these are 2016 numbers. That's the latest they came out with. But I was kind of thrown back a bit that it's only 20% of China that their accounts for their economy. So, interesting. And speaking about China, I grew up during the Cold War. I remember the Vietnam War. Too young to remember the Korean War, but I know it was about stopping those commies over there. Same thing with Vietnam. How we were taught to hate the Russians, the Soviet Union, the Chinese, the Iron Curtain, the Bamboo Curtain, and dominoes flopping out of Vietnam and crashing all over Asia until they hit the United States, and we'd all be commies. But hey, when it came to doing business, it was okay. We'll stop starting wars, slaughtering tens of millions of innocent people, destroying entire nations, ruining the lives of hundreds of millions. When it comes to making dough, here's something that you won't read, because this is from the Chinese press. Beijing, April 24th. President Xi, General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, Central Committee, has stressed the importance of studying the Communist Manifesto. The purpose of reviewing the Communist Manifesto is to understand and grasp the power and truth of Marxism and write a new chapter of socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era, she said on Monday. It's necessary to, quote, apply the scientific principles and the spirit of the Communist Manifesto to the overall planning of activities related to the great struggle, great project, great cause, and great dream, he said. Isn't that something, man? Promoting that Communist Manifesto. Yep. More efforts should be made to develop Marxism in the 21st century. Yeah. Look at this, right? We have all those slimy, disgusting politicians and all of those media prostitutes that have sold hate and war throughout their careers. Hey, but we're doing business with them Chinese now. It's okay. Nobody talks about those commies anymore. No. How many lives of Americans were ruined besides buying into these lies and destroying us not only of our lives, but of our rights? The hypocrisy. And again, do what you want. Moving on. Talking about slimers and lowlives, how about that guy, Comic Comey? Yeah, the former FBI clown. Guess what? Comey's comic book about Trump has sold 600,000 plus copies already. A piece of garbage. But it's the perfect comic book for the presidential reality show. And moving on. Coca-Cola sales fizz after reboot of Diet brand. Yep. Diet Coke returned to quarterly sales growth in North America for the first time in 8 years after redesigning its no-calorie cans with neon colors and unveiling such flavors as twisted mango for twisted minds and feisty cherries for people that buy into this.
Warning, warning, bullshit alert.
Citing demand from millennials for adventure, this is a quote, and new experiences. James Quincy, Coca-Cola's chief executive, said he was encouraged by the initial consumer response. Wow. Adventure and new experiences. Boy, these millennials are really cutting edge, man. Twisted mango and out of your mind, whatever else. Could you imagine this crap? Oh, that health movement going on in the United States? Yeah, you know what I say. They say that pigs can't fly. Go to the airport. They're all over the place. So, people are still consuming way more junk than high-quality products. Not even close. Saudi officials raise alarm on unemployment. Nearly 13% unemployment rate in Saudi Arabia, while the clown prince and the other murderers, with the United States assisting them, killing tens of thousands of people, ruining their lives, cholera, destroying Yemen, worst health crisis in the world, but don't take care of your unemployment. And guess what? 2/3 of Saudis are employed by the state. I make this because it relates to your trend alert, globalnomic in a way that nobody else does. Saudi Arabia needs oil at $100 a barrel for its budget to break even, and they're in economic problems. And they're going to do what they can to raise the price of this oil. And what does that mean? Goes back to Trump. That's right. He was with Catson, Macron, all the big news. Yep. Look at this freak show. Look at these photos. Look at all these little boys dressed up in their military drag playing a role. Look at the red carpets. Look what we have to pay for. Hard-working people paying for a freak show. What are you doing with our money doing this crap? You getting off on this stuff? What, for them? A little group of people? Anyway, now they're talking about Iran. And Macron is saying, well, he kind of talking Trump into easing up. But this is the same Macron, by the way, a little boy of nothing. Remember when French President Emmanuel Macron said Thursday, this is going back to April 12th, around that time, that he would respond to proof that the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had used chemical weapons at a time of our choosing. They never chose to do it. These people are murderers. But hey, they're the president. We roll out the red carpet. Like for the clown prince. Trump warns Iran on deal. Yep, big story here. Nobody knows what I'm going to do, Trump said. We'll see. But we'll also see if I do what some people expect, whether or not it will be possible to do a new deal with solid foundations. If Iran threatens us in any way, they will pay a price like few countries have ever paid. Could you imagine this? Nobody knows what I'm going to do. Isn't it great to live into a dictatorship? And another dictator before him, Obama, another dictator before him, Bush, another dictator before him, Clinton, waging wars without us having a say in it, and this arrogant attitude. Trump tells Iran not to restart nuclear plan. Whenever there's trouble, Yemen, Syria, no matter where you have it, Iran is behind it. Oh, yeah? No. Saudi Arabia, the United States, and your coalition of the killing are behind it. But we'll blame Iran. And again, it goes back to your trend alert. This is bigger than the stock market. It's bigger than the economy. There's a lot going on. So get ready for it. Prepare for the future. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's